Hello everybody and welcome to another awesome best of 5 series. This one is particularly interesting because it's between this man up here in the top left, Haas, and his opponent, Cure. Cure, known as one of the best Terran players in the world right now, consistently gives Raynor just an absolute flogging. I feel like they've gone back and forwards, and Raynor kind of figures out how to play against his style, makes the adjustment, takes him down. Next time they play, Cure's got a new style, smashes him. Raynor looks lost. And not only that, but Cure is incredibly good at TVP. But the reason this is exciting is this is actually the grand finals of the EPT NA Weekly. And I mean, this guy up here, he needs no introduction. It's Haas. He is the cheesy mastermind, the madman, the guy who, right, when everybody discounts his skills and says there's no way he can keep competing in 2020, 2018 this happened, 2017, every year people go, everyone's too good now. He just can't keep competing. He just doesn't know how to spend his money. He's like so bad at macro. He's so all in. He's such a cheese. Shh. All right, macro elitists. This is Haas. This guy studies the meta, and he says, oh, everyone's assuming you're going to do this. Because of that, they're not looking out for that. Therefore, if I do that, and then I show this, and then you react with that, and then I go into that, and I basically beat anybody. And he does it all the goddamn time. He's a mastermind. He always cuts corners like no tomorrow. Like, he's just, look at this game. He hasn't scouted at all. He's like, you know what? Most Terrans are playing the exact same opening. Every game. It's barracks, gas, command center. They scout with their 18th SCV as it pops out. Doesn't get over here till this time. How often is there a proxy barracks? He's like, not that often. When there is, what do I need to react with? Nothing. As long as I go Cybercore before Nexus, then I'll be good. Wait a second. He went Nexus before Cybercore. So, because he didn't scout, though, he has more minerals. So the Cybercore finishes at almost an identical timing. It's a little slower, but only by a few seconds. So as long as you still chrono and adapt out, and you're on a big map, it's not a small map, maybe you'll lose one probe if a Reaper goes straight into your main. As it is, though, Q is actually going to bunker rush the natural, and Haas doesn't have any idea about it. This probe, yeah, he sees the Reaper, so he still doesn't know about it because he pulls back to protect the probe. And that's what I'm talking about. The Adept still comes out very early because he's denied that, because he's skipped the scouting. He had more minerals. Cybercore is still down very quickly. Oh, he does not want to lose that. Oh, okay, does get it out. Stalker on the way. Twilight Council going down behind this for Haas. But as I said, Haas is tricky. He's cheesy. He upsets some of the best players in the world regularly. And even when people know he's going to cheese, he has so much variety, so many tricks, so many curveballs, obviously. It's not one-dimensional. He's going to cheese. That's like saying he's going to macro. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways you can macro. There's 1,000 different ways you can cheese. It's like, oh, this guy's going to play a good game of StarCraft. Wow, he's so predictable. It's like, you know, people say, he's just going to cheese. Why don't you just play safe? It's like, okay. How about this? Right now, you're hanging out at your house. Why don't you just play safe? And they're like, yeah, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what if a guy jumps in the window with a machete right now? What are you going to do? Why don't you just play safe? And they're like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I could, you know, have a gun with me. And I'm like, okay, wait. What if a fucking tank drives into your house and starts blowing shit up? And you're like, okay, I'm not sure how to be safe against that. Also, what if a clown with a chainsaw crashes into your window and starts trying to chop up your family? That's what playing against Haas is like. It's not like there's just one thing that could go wrong. There's like 50 different things that could go wrong. And in this game, it's going to be Dark Templar. Check this out. Super fast DT Shrine. You get faster tech with the Nexus before Cybercore because you get a second gas quicker as well. You get your probes up quicker. So he's gone Twilight Council straight into DT Shrine. He's built this pylon so he can just warp in DTs over here and then run them in very quickly. Doesn't need a warp prism mill to drop them. That finishes 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Oh my god. He's still waiting for the warp in to be available because that just transformed into a warp gate though. DT does warp in. He'll warp in another one in a moment. Q has no idea about this. He's going for a Widowmine drop. He does start a tech lab, so he's going to go Raven after this, but dude, with a DT already walking in, does he have an engineering bay? No engineering bay, no Raven. If he raises the wall and doesn't let it in his main, he'll be okay. Oh no, once there's a DT in the main, it's a disaster. And Haas doesn't even go for the workers. He goes after the army. The whole point of that saying, look, I know you don't have a lot of production. If I just kill your Marines, even when you do start scanning, you're not going to be able to kill them. Oh, Widowmine's actually burrowed over there. Did he kill a DT? No, he just killed a probe with the Widowmine, so not very useful Widowmine explosion, only getting a single probe. This DT, can he escape? Oh, he does get surrounded. and taken down, but he gets a few SCVs. And remember, even when they die, that's a scan and a few SCV kills. And look at this guy. Dude, he's killed so many Marines. Oh my God. Dude, even if Cure scans, he can't kill that DT very quickly. He's got to bring everything up from the natural as well. He's already lost 9 Marines. Only 1 probe, 1 DT has gone down. A third base is finishing behind this. Haas is well underway with his transition. His blink is done. Another DT walks in. Oh my God, this is basically game over. Yeah, this is basically game over. Haas just hitting with such a fast build. Dude, oh my God, this is the guy who killed all the Marines, and now he's going ham in the main base. Another scan goes down in the natural. This DT comes in, runs away. Dude, this is so unfair. Finally, he chases that one down. The other DT in the main looks like he just got recalled to the third base. 18 kill Master Dark Templar. That is disgusting. And meanwhile, the Widowmine drop wasn't doing anything. If that was at least killing probes, maybe it would have slowed down Haas. But look at this. Haas is going charge behind this. He's going up to 6 gateways. And he's already got a 4th on the way. What the hell? He knows he's done so much damage. There's going to be a long time where Cure can't move out. So he says, let's just go 4 bases. Who cares? There's nothing you can do to me right now. Oh, the Stalkers are hidden. Watch out. Watch out. Oh, no. He's going to lose it. Oh my God, even if he loses a probe or 2, that's no big deal. Yeah, 3 probes, cleans that up. And then he just gets to continue macroing. His 4th base is finishing. Double forges on the way. This is the style he used versus Dream. I can't remember if it was the same opening, but I remember seeing him versus Dream at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, the World Championship. Haas actually, yeah, he actually did some really cool stuff. This was actually, because I remember this exact same map, he went 110 workers, and he took 5 bases really quickly, and he just threw like 1,000 zealots at Dream, and Dream just didn't have the money to keep up. And it looks like Haas is doing that same sort of thing, right? Just crazy mineral income. Notice he's only got 3 gas geysers in total. He's taking so many gates. He's on 5. He starts 5 more, so he's going 10 gates. 1-1 upgrades is on the way. Charge. He's got just a small squad of Blink Stalkers for map control. He's got a DT or 2 that can always do some backstabs. This Reaper's going to come over. This is Cure's only scout. I don't think he's expecting to scout a 4th base at all. He's just like, oh, let's go scout the 3rd in a little bit, see what's up. Oh, he pulls back to try and find the probe that's building these pylons. The problem is that means he doesn't even know about the 4th base. Dude, this is such a bad spot. So for Cure, his game plan has to be leave the tanks on the high ground at all times, I think. Never move out. And just slowly leave your bio on the low ground, but like always wedge it behind buildings with tanks covering it from the high ground and play the slowest game of all time. Oh, he's going to move out to try and hold the middle. But dude, there's going to be so many zealots coming in. I don't think it's going to work out. Oh, skirmish. Stalkers do go down at the front. One of them does anyway. The other one does blink back. 1 Marine for a Stalker. Good trade for Cure. He's going to try and siege his tanks just in range. Wants to move forward and surprise. Look at that. Bam! Nice. Does get a bit of damage on the Stalkers. 3rd command center is going to work down. Cure does have a 4th and a 5th barracks on the way. His double upgrades are going as well, but quite far behind the 1-1 of Haas, who makes a 5th base in the top right. Oh my God, he's still building probes. He's at 80 workers, guys. Look at the income. He's mining enough to build 36 zealots a minute right now. And he's still building more probes. He wants to be able to make 40 zealots a minute. That's his goal. So, oh my God, he's going to do the 100 probes. So look, he's got pylons to warp in all over the map. They're also going to spot any drops that are coming. And he can actually, if he builds a Nexus, they turn into fast warp-in pylons. This one's a little too far away, I think. But the other ones are close enough. They're all going to be fast warp-in pylons if he builds a Nexus next to any of them. Does he start 2-2? Come on, Haas. You know you want that 2-2. He's just making a shit ton of zealots right now. So he's making a warp prism. Observer does see that Widowmine. Blinks on top of it, takes it out. And 90 probes. Oh my God, 90 probes. What the fudge, dude? Mass zealot warping. So he's going to attack on the left with some units, and he's going to try and bust the front wall. It's only a depot wall, so it's relatively fragile. And what do we have? 28. There's less Marines than there are zealots. There are 5 siege tanks and the Raven. If it can land a big anti-armor missile, that could be big. Auto turrets are going down. The Marines are stimming. They deal with the zealots on the left, but the zealots are starting to crack through those auto turrets. Oh, the Raven goes down to the Stalkers. 1 siege tank falls. The depots go down, but Haas pulls back. He doesn't want to throw away his Stalkers, his Sentry, his Archons. He's waiting for more zealots. He's warping in 13 zealots at a time right now. He starts his 2-2 upgrades. His 5th base is fully saturated, And he's taking another Nexus. He's going to take a 6th on Cua's side of the map. So even if he eventually gets beaten back, he's going to be mining out Cua's side of the map before Cua even realizes it. He's got so many units coming in. Cua, 33 Marines. There's 24 Zealots right now. And look at the income. 4,400 minerals a minute. That's right, he can make 43 Zealots a minute if that's all he builds. That is actually insane. The Stalkers blink over and start to take out a Siege Tank. Zealots on top of that. Archons as well. The Marines are caught up. The Archons could start to land some big hits. The Marines do their best to pull back. SCVs are trying to buffer. Oh my god, this is actually maybe the most incredible hold from Cua. He defends yet another wave. But dude, Haas just warps in on the front line like a mad lad, like a Chad. He doesn't give a fudge, man. Ooh, actually, nice EMPs on the Stalkers. The Zealots there having to run around these depots, and they were actually getting hit as they were warping in. Haas overextended. He's actually losing a crazy amount of units right now. He's not being very efficient. But you know what? I mean, I think you need a much better units loss tab than that as Cua. Being 2,500 resources more efficient, when he's at 100 probes, when he is out mining you by thousands of minerals a minute, I mean, that's only a minute's mining difference. It doesn't matter, right? And look at this, 2-2 versus 1-1 now. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Cua's trying to make a 4th command center. He's like, yeah, well, look, if I win this game, it's going to be a real long haul. Start 2-2, start the 4th, and just keep turtling. Keep building tanks, keep building bio, keep building ghosts. Try to defend and hang on. But more Zealots warping in, adding 4 more gateways. So 17 gates is going to be the count. A 7th base on the left side of the map. Haas should be transferring workers. He's already transferred out of the main. About 11:30 is when your natural is mining out. You see these mineral patches are literally disappearing as we speak. That one will disappear in 2 trips. That one there. Yeah, these 2 mineral patches are both about to mine out. Haas moving forward with a giant army. 100 probes, 31 Zealots, 10 Stalkers. He does get a medevac and a couple of Marines. It's not pretty, but it is damned effective. A swarm of Protoss. Normally it's the Zerg that swarms, but Haas just is swarming right now. That's the only way. This is honestly like watching an angry bee's nest of Protoss units, and they say no honey for you, Cua. Game 1 goes to Haas in overwhelming fashion. All right. Straight up into game number 2. It's going to be 2,000 Atmos for the second map. An underwater map, and that's a very early probe. What is he up to? Up here in the top right-hand side, it is Haas. Pylon goes down at home, building probes. Sending a probe straight across now. It looks like he was going to the right, but then he changed his mind and moved to the left. So he's going to proxy something, but he's not made up his mind about where just yet. Or maybe he has, but a bit of hesitation. Cua, on the other hand, very predictable opening. Game 1. Will he do it again game 2, or will he do a nice early scout? Because I really feel if you're playing Haas, sending a 17 SCV scout makes perfect sense. Barracks, gas, or even a 16. I would grab this guy and go straight across the map just to confirm what's up. Because he's such a crazy player. He'll just go Nexus first. He'll cheese you. He'll not scout himself. In this game, he's going to build a gateway in your friggin' natural. It's a max packs build, guys. Gateway, gas. And I think he's going to go Nexus. So he's going to go Zealot, Stalker, probably, right? I think that's normally how it goes with the max packs. Zealot, Stalker is usually it. And yeah, he's rallied to his natural. So Gateway into the gas. He's going to get Nexus before Cybercore, is he? I guess it makes sense because you're building Zealots, aren't you, at first? Yeah. Oh, okay. Just scouts for an SCV coming in. Doesn't see. The good thing about this is very similar to a normal Nexus time. So the SCV comes in. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's a totally normal build until he gets in the main and sees that pylon. So let's see the SCV's path. Because Cua... I don't know where he's clicked in here, but if he goes to the south, he might not realize straight away. Oh my god, look at that! Dude, that's so disgusting. He's chrono-boosting a Zealot already. Cybercore goes down. Look at this. Yeah, if Cua goes down this side, he doesn't know. He has no idea. He's like, yeah, second gas. This is totally normal. Let's go to Cua's camera. And he's like, oh, shit. He immediately turns his Reaper around, but it's a little bit too late. What's he going to do? Dude, I would cancel that. I would cancel and pull to the high ground. If you pull SCVs, you're going to need to pull a lot, and you need to get a bunker on the high ground, on the low ground immediately. Because the moment a Stalker or an Adept comes out, you can't win that fight unless you pull like a billion SCVs. He's trying to kite with the Reaper, but his command center is not building right now. So Cua is going to try to retake the natural at some point. But Cybercore's about to finish, which means a Stalker is about to start up. Yeah. Okay, the first Zealot does go down. but it's kept him off that command center. Now there's 2 shield batteries. Haas, oh my god, this is such a big brain response. Haas, because the command center didn't get cancelled, is building 2 shield batteries. Normally you wouldn't do that. You're like, cool, force the cancel, do what we can, see what happens. But in this case, he's going to try and do that. He gets another shield battery down, 3 shield batteries. The Zealot does get taken out by this Marine SCV Reaper pool. Has to cancel one of the shield batteries. But now the Stalker's out. Cure, oh my god, Cure, he stayed here too long. The Stalker takes down 1 Marine. It's going to focus the 2nd Marine. 2 Marines have fallen now. Oh no, and now it's focusing the SCVs, building the command center. It's got a shield battery there. There's just not enough damage in this Terran force. The factory's just finished. The Marines are only building 1 at a time, and because they're dying, because there's no bunker, Haas gets a 2nd SCV. He starts to click on this Marine here as well. Ooh, he pulls back for a moment now. He's trying to focus down this Reaper. 2 Stalkers are out though. Double the damage now. He gets another Marine. Dude, this is huge. He gets another. Oh no, that SCV gets out. Does he get the Marine though? Not just yet. Does finish that Ready Point SCV though as it pulls back into the fight. The Stalker's doing a little bit of in and out micro. But oh, the Marine! Cure, you got to stay on the high ground, buddy. He's got to stay on that high ground. His Marines. Look at that. Corpses floating up to the top of the ocean. Another Marine gets perfectly focus fired by Haas. I'm surprised he could even see that, to be honest. Another Stalker goes down. He's got a Nexus finish and he's building a DT shrine. Again, he's going DTs behind this. Oh my god, he's actually doing so much damage, is Haas, in this game. I mean, Q has kept dropping mules. He's kept building SCVs. He's got a tank almost out, which should be the end of this. And he did get the command center up, technically. I mean, there's something to be said. He's got mules. He's only down 8 SCVs. The problem is those DTs might just kill him. Especially if Haas can hold his position for another 40 seconds. That's when the DT shrine's done. If he could warp in DTs here on the front, it would be great. Haas is pulling back now. I'm not sure if he saw the siege tank, but maybe just knows the timing of it. Oh, and he's going to recall. Okay, so I think Haas is worried that a Viking or a Medevac snuck across the map, or a Liberator. It's very common around this time for a Liberator to fly in. So he says, recall home, make sure we're safe. Gives up the forward position. He starts Blink behind this. And I mean, he's on 37 probes versus 30. And he's got a few Stalkers out. His tank, only 2 Marines, a Reaper, a Viking. Shield Battery going to heal the pylon, just trying to buy itself a bit of time there. Just distract Cure. Cure is starting a tech lab on the starport. I don't know if... Can he get a Raven out in time? There's a pylon right here. DTs could still do damage. Engineering Bay is almost up, though. And he's almost got a wall off. These are all things that actually look towards Cure potentially making a comeback in this game. 3rd base goes up for Haas. 3rd gas as well. And gateway there. Viking does land. Marines, siege tanks, looking good. DT is warping in. Raven is 25, about 25, 26 seconds from completion. The DT is going to walk in. They're going to walk in before that wall-off gets up. Oh, just before. Wait, he gets a scan, though. He does get that one before it gets in. And the other DT, it just aggroed back in. Oh, Haas messed up his micro. That DT should have been able to escape and then come back in now and kill at least 4 or 5 SCVs. Haas with a big mistake, and he misses his opportunity because of that. Q is back in this game. This was a terrible start for Cure, but Cure is back in this game. If you invest in 2 DTs like that, all you get is 1 scan, nothing else, and now completely defended with a Raven out. Q is absolutely back in the game because he's rock solid defensively. Yes, he doesn't have a push out time anytime soon. 2nd and 3rd barracks just started. So Haas does have a lot of time to kind of defend and get prepared, but Haas is building 3 forges. Don't you dare make triple upgrades, Haas. Thank you. He cancels one of the forges. I was like, that is objectively bad. Plasma shields are really, really bad, especially because he's going to be playing Zealot Stalker. Yes, Stalkers have a decent amount of shields, but the problem is plasma shields cost so much. Already double upgrades is greedy as all hell. So any more upgrade commitment is even insanely greedier. But you add plasma shields, Zealots only have... We don't have a Zealot to click on, but I'll show you guys. They have 100 hit points, 50 shields. So the shields disappear very quickly. So it's just not worth as much in a fight. And yes, they regenerate. Most of your units aren't regenerating the shields. Most of them, most fights as the game goes on, units die. Or they don't take damage at all. That's just the majority of the experiences that your units have. There are situations where that's not the case, but they're not consistent, they're not reliable. And already double upgrades is a little bit too much. Ooh, look at that. A Viking lands, gets 3 probes here. Stalkers have to warp in for Haas. Can you get one more? Oh, he gets it. He gets one more. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, that probe just goes floating away. God, I love this map. It's absolutely beautiful. You've got little glowing fish flying or swimming around in pairs. It's absolutely beauty. Big pack of Stalkers, man. 11 Blink Stalkers. So he made a lot more Stalkers than normal did Haas. It means his Zealot count's going to be much delayed. But he's got 6 gateways on the way. So he'll be going up to a big 10 gateway count. He's got 3 bases saturated with a 4th getting saturated. Similar style to last game, but he doesn't have anything like the same lead that he had in that game. Now he's going to go out and start putting pylons down around the edges so that he can see incoming drops. Stalkers to control the map. He's got 1 sentry for Guardian Shield. He's got an Archon. Kua does have a 3rd command center finish, but he's down 16 workers right now and hasn't started mining from that 3rd, while the 4th is already long distance mining for Haas. No Ghost Academy. He is building Widow Mines though, which is very important. That gives you, if you're a Kua fan, that should give you a lot of hope. The pylon sees the Widow Mine drop cover. Does Haas notice it? Just down there. He doesn't look at it, but he's got another probe there and another pylon there. So he's got many opportunities to spot that Widow Mine drop coming. Yeah, Widow Mine's a great verse mass Zealot. Ooh, Widow Mine drop comes in, but good pull by Haas. Does he react to this one as well? Oh, Widow Mine drop comes on in, and once again, just a single probe for each. Yeah, this is not very significant damage. Where is the Observer at though? Here we go. Observer's over here on the right side of our screen. Reveals that Widow Mine, and should reveal that one in a moment as well. Oh. Looks like Observer or Probe went down there. We see a little piece of it floating on off into the surface. Ooh, Widow Mine's coming into the main. This one might finally find the damage. Haas's reactions have been so good this game, but once again, Widow Mines just aren't finding anything. Oh, he tries to pick up, but that's dangerous. That's dangerous, and he gets punished for it. Yeah, he loses it. Completely cleaned up. I mean, Kua does a little bit of distraction with the Widow Mines. It's very similar supply. Kua's army supply is good. It's just the scaling of Haas. He's got 2-2 halfway done. When that finishes in about a minute and a half, he's going to be up 2 upgrades, and he's got 74 probes. He's going to make an obscene number of Zealots. He's going to be able to trickle DTs into the army as well if he can kill the Raven, and that'll start forcing scans out. Kua has to get very good Widow Mine hits. He's got a stutter step very well. That being said, he's up 16, 18 army supply right now. He is starting +2 weapons as well. He's got concussive on the way, shields, he's got a good army, and the bigger the bio army grows, the worse Zealots and Zealots Archons are. If this maxes out for Kua and it's still just Zealots and Archons, Kua will get very good fights. Ooh, a bit of a wild engage. The Raven goes down almost instantly, but it got a good anti-armor missile off. That top flank of Kua does fall. A lot of these units going down, but Haas does not want to lose the valuable guys. He loses both Observers there, the Sentry, and all of his Zealots. At the same time, though, DT runs in the left. 3 SCV kills and lost mining time. Forces a scan. He's got a 5th base going up behind this. Haas he's on the warpath right now. +3 attack starts up. He's building 3 more gateways. That's right, guys. He's going to 13 gateways. He's going up towards 80 probes, and he's just gonna keep fighting. I really, for me, my inclination would be to go for run buys, to wear away the economy and use your mobility. Now, the reason why there's an argument for what Haas is doing is because if this army gets too big, Kua starts taking super efficient fights. That's the way bio versus melee works. So he kind of wants to keep the army small of Kua. He kind of wants to play like a Zerg, and he actually snipes the orbital, just runs in there, clicks on it before Kua can deal with it, saves the Archon, very nice, and gets out of there. I'd love to see the Stalkers pick up the Widows. Oh, he doesn't want to get caught here, though. Oh, Haas, no, not like this. I don't think this is a good fight. He's caught out here. Kua wants to fight. He does not really. If he can get the Archon out and the Stalkers, it might be okay. He turns around and goes in again with the next wave of Zealots. I mean, he is forcing a lot of stim out of Kua, right? That's the one big argument. And it's 2-2 versus 1-1. So lots of stim. There's SCVs even pulled into this fight, guys. Only a couple of them, but still, that is something. Archon has been saved by the Warp Prism for about the 5th time. The Widow Mines. Oh, the Observer does survive, but big hits. Lots of Protoss units go flying, including the Warp Prism. And without the Warp Prism, without the Archon, it's just Zealot Stalker. He's at half the army supply. Haas has better upgrades. He has a much better economy. Kua has to win the game right here, right now. Every second that goes by is terrible economically. He's mining 900 minerals a minute. Haas is mining 4,000. Haas can make 40 Zealots a minute. This is not a situation you can afford to tread water in as Cure. You've got to kill him. You've got to kill him now. And he's doing damned well, dude. He's picking off so many Zealots and Stalkers. This army is killing it. Oh, he's pulled more boys as well. They're going to do okay buffering. Zealots kill them pretty quickly, but any buffer at all is important. He knows he's got to win the game right here, right now. There are corpses slowly floating up to the surface of the ocean. Some fishermen are in for some spoils of war. There's going to be Protoss armor, mech suits, guns, and everything. The Stalkers are beating it back, and I think the Stalkers are honestly the biggest problem for Cure. They've actually added ranged firepower finishing blows that stacks with the Zealots to actually get kills and get efficiency. The problem, of course, that he's running into is those Stalkers. If he can kill them, they're very fragile, they're very expensive. Zealots on their own, stutter step, easy wins. But notice those Stalkers are picking off medevacs, picking off Marauders. Every time he stutter steps back, he's losing units to the Stalkers still. If he can get rid of those Stalkers, maybe he can crack through, but the army supply is too close now. The army supply, remember, it was way ahead before. Yes, Haas doesn't have a lot, but neither does Cure. His rally is a trickle. He just does not have that many units. Remember that he pulled almost all of his workers into this push. He's got Widow Mines. They're getting some great hits. Oh, another big one on the Zealots. That one there as well. Not bad at all. But just the amount of warpins, even though they're coming from the natural now, it's 3-2 versus 2-2. So the upgrades are a lot closer now that Cure's 2-2 kicked in. But there's still a 1 upgrade advantage. And look at the Stalkers focusing down the medevacs. The Zealots come in DTs as well. And Haas can breathe a sigh of relief. Oh my god. Dude. This was nowhere near as big an advantage as in the previous game. He could not afford to be sloppy. But Haas showed he knows how to defend against that sort of push. GG, well played. A 2-0 advantage for Haas. All right, up 2 games. Needs 1 more to close it out. Who the hell thought this was going to be the case? I mean, let's be real though. He got Surprise DT, massive damage. Surprise Gateway, big damage through Cure off. Even though the follow-up DTs didn't work out, a good finishing. Let's see if he's got enough tricks up his sleeve to close out a best of 5. It's Haas. Down here in the bottom left-hand side, it looks like he has finally decided to change things up. He says, you know what? Maybe scouting super late is not the best idea. This is Cure. But that's actually not even 2. That's 3 SCVs. He's doing a triple proxy barracks marine rush. Are you kidding? That's crazy. Dude, that's a crazy... I mean, both games Haas hasn't scouted, right? Because he was either proxying or not scouting. Game 1, didn't scout. Game 2, proxy. And because of that, didn't scout until the proxy came in. Either of which, 3 proxy racks marine is going to be pretty good versus. It's just such an all-in. When you're down 0-2, to go for this sort of all-in, I mean, it's a dangerous maneuver. I guess Cure says, look, I got to win 3 in a row. I think this will work. High percentage considering how Haas is playing. And yeah, I mean, Haas isn't scouting again. Maybe if he's going Nexus before Cybercore again. Great for getting those fast DTs out. I don't know if it's very good when it comes to defending Marines, man. Oh, this is a hard situation for Haas. And he still doesn't scout. Nexus Cybercore, and he's still not scouting? Okay, now he's going to send a probe down to the natural, but I think that's just for a pylon. Yeah, that's just for a pylon. Please tell me he scouts at least after this probe. Oh my god, he's planning to hide his tech. He's so focused on his game plan because he thinks Cure is such a predictable guy. He's just going to do the same thing. But dude, Cure's a dirty boy. Cure likes to all in. He mixes them in. He does. Yes, he's a great macro player. I mean, I think about when Innovation, Game 5 of their TVT was like, yeah, let's go 3 CC. I was like, are you kidding? That's already a crazy dangerous build in TVT. But against Cure just like ran Reaper Hellion and won the game. Oh my god. He still doesn't see it. Haas doesn't know. He doesn't know until he's literally inside the main base. Oh my god. Dude, is that going to get depowered before the Adept gets out? The Adept. Okay, pull the probes, and then he forces the Marines out. The Adept does get out, but she's kind of trapped. She's got a shade. Oh, she's getting drilled. 12 SCVs and 1 Adept. Oh my god, I didn't realize that was in my XXX search terms, but apparently it will be now. Oh my god, the Marines are getting down. Adept goes down. Drilly Boys just created such a good wall. There's still a Marine there with 1 hit point. And Cure just gets a nice, cheap, easy win. He says, you have to scout, otherwise I can just do this. Gets the point on the board. All right, let's go straight into map number 4. Still only needs 1 point to seal the deal, but I have a feeling he might scout after that last game. This is Haas. And his opponent in the top left, representing red Terran players everywhere. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, I think. he's on. This was played on the NA server though, so I guess he didn't have his clan tag. It's Skewer. Now, where does the series go from here? Are we gonna see more of that Zealot Stalker? Are we gonna see more Dark Templar? If this approximates any standard PvT macro game, I just don't have faith in Haas, all right? Like, if he's like, I'm going to play Blink into Colossus, I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to be like, there's no way you win the game with that. Like, there's just no way, right? I think he has to do something, to force a bit more of a weird situation, because Q is just so good at his macro, scouting, progressing to the next stage, microing, and once he gets to the mid game, Q will just mass bio ghost, Widowmine, drop you to death, push you to death, just endless streams of macro, of units you think you want. You're like, I held the push, I'm good. And you like scout, he's got a 4th and a 5th base up, and you're like, what? Like, he's macroing while attacking. Q is very good at that. Now, Haas does scout everywhere for proxies this game. Once again, Nexus before Cybercore. Q, though, is going for a much more standard opening. Just barracks into gas. Reaper coming out first. SCV gonna have a bit of a scout. Will he go for the bunker pressure again? I remember from game 1. It's really nice, the bunker pressure, because if you can get it up, it's like, hey, I'm just going to put pressure on, delay you at your natural. People are like, oh, is it worth it, though, because the bunker cost? Well, I think it is, because if you can keep them pinned back, you don't need a bunker at home. That's why it's so useful. The whole point of the bunker there, offensively, is, well, you're getting damage for the bunker. Whereas if you build it defensively, they come over, they see the bunker, and they just back off, right? And you're like, I didn't really do anything. It doesn't look like he's going to go for it this time. Reaper is out. Marine coming out as well. Reaper appears to be looking for proxies himself. As you can see, he's checking down here. SCV does see the probe in the middle of the map. Adept on the way, as well as Warpgate research. So Warpgate tells us it's probably going to be a Twilight Council, unless he cancels that and builds a Stargate right now. No. Goes down, pulls off, and then puts back on gas. Is he going Stargate? This is weird. Reaper's going to come on in. Haas still has not gone for any tech. His tech is a lot later than normal. Sees... Oh, was he waiting to see the Reaper, perhaps? That's weird. Okay, Stargate does go down, so he is going Stargate. And he's got an Adept out. He's been focusing on scouting denial. Remember game 1, scouting denial. But Q is the one who's being a sneaky bastard this time around. Factory's going to swap over. Reaper into Hellions. Starport. He's going to do a 4 Hellion drop into the main very, very early now. Pass here. He's going to start to chase off that Reaper. Gets one hit on it. Another Adept, of course, sitting on the ramp. Now, against this, if you can get out an Oracle and have it sitting above the Hellions, it can kill them very quickly. Phoenix is obviously the best. If you can get out, say, 3 Phoenix when this hits, you can shoot down the medevac very quickly. But more importantly, you can disable a few of the Hellions. And it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot probes. So if there's 4 Hellions, you need to kill not just 1, but 2 of those, or disable 2 of those to stop them being so deadly. As long as there's 3 or more, every time they get to shoot is deadly. You're going to lose multiple probes to every single shot. So the faster your Adepts can focus fire a Hellion down, your Phoenix can pick them up and take them out, or disable them for at least a few seconds while your Adepts do the work is going to be good now. He's got 1 Adept at the front, 2nd and 3rd gateway. This is an incredibly safe play. Haas is really respecting this. He hasn't scouted at all, but he's just expecting Cure to do some sort of quick pressure. So he's got Phoenix in the main, but the drop, if the drop goes in the dead space, check it out, Haas doesn't see. If he unloads in there, Haas is not going to have a lot of time to react. But, oh, I think that's Envision. It is. It's Envision. It's Envision. Haas jumps on top of it. Oh, my God. A quick warp in with the Adept that does a bit of a semi-block there. Not bad. Those other Adepts, though, a bit too slow to the party. Disables 2 of the Hellions. These 2 Hellions still stacking up their shots. Still doing a lot of damage. Oh, 1 more big volley could kill so many. 7 workers going down. Oh, my God. Does he get an 8th? No. 7 probes. That's a lot of damage for this early in the game. That's such a fast drop. However, it could have been worse. It could have been disastrous. He starts the 3rd immediately, and if you just build a 3rd immediately, keep hitting your probes, and now you've got the Phoenix for map control, you're okay here as Haas. Because if you don't have a 3rd and you don't have money for a 3rd, it's like, oh no, you're stuck on 2 base for such a long time. But if you've already got a 3rd building, taking probe damage, just not as big because you've got so much more ability to rebuild. If you start a 3rd as soon as the damage is done, kind of similar. It's not, oh, my 3rd's finished, then I can chrono 3 Nexi. It's pretty damn good. And you can see he's just building probes nonstop, transferring a few back up into his main. A few more gateways going down in the Twilight Council, funnily enough. So it looks like he's going to do probably a mass charge follow-up. Like, he's got a 3rd base. Does have a third gas geyser, does Haas, but Glaives? Oh my god. 2017 called and they want their builds back, Haas. He's going to go Resonating Glaive Adept. Now, Adepts do not scale nearly as well as Zealots later into the game, but they are better at just shading on top and doing one quick jump on in the early stages in terms of, like, you know, sometimes they can all shade past a wall or something as well if the door's down, whereas Zealots struggle to get in there a little bit more. Oh, he loses a Phoenix, does get 2 SCVs, but that's not really worth it. Oh, there's some damage on the medevac. Not bad, not bad. Now, the problem for Cure is he doesn't have vision. I think Cure has weathered the early stages just fine. He got some probes, lost his Hellions. You know, he's in a situation which is fine. Ooh, does not want to lose that Cyclone, but the Marines are close by. So what do we got? 5 barracks, going up to 5 barracks. 3rd command center's down. Double engineering bay on the way. I mean, Cure is scaling at an alarming rate. The problem with the DAPs is if they can't get on top of the Marines, they're just bad. They're weaker than Zealots. They're more fragile. They don't do as much damage. If Cure sits behind his walls and gets his Marine count to 30, 40 Marines, gets 1-1, gets Stim, which are all finishing in about a minute and a half, then he's fine. But he does not necessarily have a minute and a half. He needs to stay on 2 base. He needs to stay on 2 base. He has no info. He needs to be scanning right now. You're playing Haas. You can't just move out to that 3rd Cure. I don't think. I mean, Haas obviously is not going to pull the trigger until he sees an opening. There's no way. Because once he shows his hand, Q is just going to pull behind the wall, lift the command center, run home, but he moves everything out. He moves everything out. The Adepts are here. There's 18 Adepts. They're shading. They're shading on top of the army. The Phoenix are going to kill the medevac. It cannot pick up an escape. If he tries to save these units, the Phoenix will gun them down. The medevac's are going to boost in. Q's instincts is to save the unit, but he loses the tank inside the loaded medevac. Oh, that's a disaster. He loses everything on the low ground, and now that he's lost the core of his army, what's he got? A handful of Marines and Marauders, 1 Cyclone. The Phoenix can just come in here, as can the Adepts. They can just blast everything. Look at that. He's going to shade right on top. Doesn't want to take 2 big hits with the Widow Mines. He's going to take a couple big hits with the Widow Mines, but it doesn't matter. He is on top of everything, and Cure moving out to a 3rd seems like something you can do 90% of the time. Well, guess what? Haas is the 10%. He's the 2%. He's the 0.2% weirdo that's going to do an Adept timing in 2021. And that's why you've got to scan against this bad boy. Haas, with a massive upset, wins the EPT NA Weekly Cup. He gets a 3-1 victory, and he's shown us a big range of builds. Max packs inside the natural. He showed us a DT rush. He's showing us Nexus before Cybercore consistently, especially when paired with skipping the probe scout. These super tight openings, fast DTs, fast that. We've seen overwhelming Zealot follow-ups with mass Zealot Stalker. And there we saw a very cute, just a super tight defensive Phoenix opening. Just mixes that in there. The most un-Haas-like build you'd ever expect. And then turns it into a brutal Glaive Adept timing. What a way to finish off the series. Well done, Haas. GG, well played. Cure, I think, is going to have some newfound respect for this guy. Haas, what a beast. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.